Hello everybody, this is Wendy Lovejoy of the yellowlettermentoring.com, and we are starting the live training for tonight. The training tonight is about your budget. I won't be here long. I really wanted to, as you guys get on board, please announce yourself so I know who joined us. And if you have questions, as always, I encourage you to send me a text, 404-573-0027. I'll be happy to address questions pertaining to the information I'm going to share tonight. This is a training platform. Hey there, Saul, glad you made it. And thanks for letting me know you're here. But I'm hoping you guys, if you are on the Yellow Letter Mentoring, you have your workbook, and at the back of the binder we included, hi there Marvin, how are you? We included some loose leaf paper at the end of your binder so that you can take notes. And so I'm going to encourage you to keep adding to that binder. I wanted to bring you some of my trainings that I've had for many, many years, and some of the notes that I've taken over the years. Hello there, Carol. Good to see you as well. I've not on YLM yet. Okay. I think it's going to make a big difference for people to get involved in Yellow Letter Mentoring. I see a few people that are on it. And I have it, only read it 4 times already. Way to go, Saul. And that's why you're already doing great things. And I'm excited that you got your first deal accepted, and many more to come. I think you're on track because you ask questions, and when you're given the information, you don't ask, why should I do it? You ask, how soon should I do it? And so you remind me of myself and, of course, Anthony with that. But this is why we have this platform, because I find for me, having had a lot of mentors when I got started, some like Robert Kiyosaki, I'm a very strong believer in reading. And if you have not read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you really should. I'm going to be putting up probably next week something that I call Rich Investor, Poor Investor. And it just shows you the two different mindsets and why people get stuck and why people don't succeed like they should. It's the mindset. So I always start with mindset. Thank you there. Yes, it is. It starts with mindset. And I've read that book over and over. I had my kids read that book. Saul, you talked to I made him read that book over and over and over, and I question my kids because the mindset, I'm having, it looks like some technicality. I see the internet going in and out, but please ignore that and stay focused on the information because I think it will be helpful. And I have to say, I had dental work today, and I made sure that I'm on this call to train tonight. I could have put it off, and my brother even encouraged me, don't do it, because people might be waiting for that information. And so I hope it's very helpful to you. So I always encourage taking notes, because some of the things you're going to hear may fly over your head tonight, but there's going to come a point where you're going to need the information and you have it in your notes. So here's the thing I want to share with you. In business, you need a business budget. You need a business plan. You need a business budget. And again, for those that are going to watch this for the first time, because we have new people joining the RIA Meetup group all the time, and I speak on other platforms, which encourages people to come and join us here. So I share some information that you may have heard, like some of you already know. I've been in real estate about 3 decades. I took off about 9 years to get involved in multi-level marketing, and I met some of you guys there, and you liked my training when I was with 5 Links. No matter what platform I'm on, I always encourage, 1, your mindset. The number one thing you can do, whether you want to become a real estate agent, a real estate investor, you've got to invest money in changing how you think, because it is your thinking 30 years ago when I first got into real estate, I started buying investment property. I shared the other day that I purchased the Carlton Sheets book, like it was a box, and I'm gonna show you that box one weekend. Hey there, Duke. Yeah. And in that box, he taught us, we had CDs, well, not CDs, it was actually cassette tapes. That's how long ago this training was. And it came with a book that gave us some scripts. And basically, you had to get the Sunday newspaper, look for the people selling on their own, which are for sale by owners. And then once you did, you call them and you ask them information about the sale of their home. So 30 years ago, I've been investing in my future. For some reason, I've always believed that people that knew more than me in a particular field were entitled to get paid for training me that information. So Carlton Sheets had this package. It was $1,500, and he said, if you purchase this package, he had all these infomercials, and I bought the package. I really tried to understand. There were some things I didn't understand because there was nobody I can call to ask the information. So I did the stuff I could understand. I knew how to pick up a phone, get a Sunday newspaper, and call the people that were selling on their own. And just ask them, you know, why are you selling on your own? Can you tell me about the house? If I'm interested in buying, would you be willing to sell it to me? But the idea was to get in the home and try to get it at a discount. Here's the thing. I bought that package to get involved in real estate investing, but when I got to be a real estate agent, which happened a few years later, when I became a real estate agent, the top producer in the office, I've shared his name before, Abraham Nye, our broker at the time, Chuck McGill, had 5 offices, but this guy was the top producer of all the offices. And I noticed that he did what Carlton Sheets had taught me to do. He came in the office, he picked up the newspaper on the way to the office, and he called for sale by owners. He didn't stop at the coffee machine. He didn't make friends with people. He called people that were looking to sell, and he did not leave his seat until he got an appointment. He focused in Rosedale, New York. And at that time, Rosedale had only Italians. And here was this little Nigerian gentleman who came in the office pretty much in the same couple of suits, pinstripe suit, tie and shirt. And I would, you know, look at him and I say, wow, this guy was selling like 25 minimum. He'd get 25 listings and he'd try to sell them himself. So he was doing no less than 50 deals a month himself. And he focused on coming in the office, sitting at his desk, for sale by owners. So everything you learn will help you. So I want you to get out of the mindset that, you know, you're paying for stuff and because you're looking to make money in real estate. So you have to change your mindset about money and real estate. About Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he changed my thinking about how I saw myself as a business owner. Most people are taught to go to school. Hey there, Breland. To go to school, to you know, get a good education, to get a good job, and then they'll make a lot of money. But then most people, they also have been taught, you know, you save your money, you build your credit, and then you buy yourself a home and you live in that home for 30 years. Well, I don't know anybody that's still doing that before their lifetime is over. So you have to shift with the thinking, and that won't happen if you stay in your own bubble and you continue to do things your way. And you continue. I have no less than 8 coaches for different things. I invest a lot of money on being coached. And I do that so that I can share information with you guys. And one of the things that all my coaches do is they change the way I think about certain things. And I found for me, when I got into real estate, that was the number one thing that was worked on with me. Most people come into, they don't like the life that they have, and they feel like real estate is going to change it. Well, you come in not knowing enough. You come in sometimes not having enough money, and you come in a lot of times, thank you, Breeling. You come in a lot of times thinking that information, you can learn it on your own because there's so many YouTube videos out there. Here's the thing, they don't give you access to reaching out to that person and getting that person to answer your questions. So that's why we built the RIA Forum, is so platform so that people can ask questions. If I can't answer them, I connect them with somebody that does. So one of the things you really want to invest in is to change how you think. Become a reader. Become open to people that are doing more than you. Become really invested in transforming yourself. Real estate is easy. The hardest thing is the enemy within. The person that gets caught up in the distractions, the person that doesn't manage their money well, the person that thinks they can do this on their own, the person that doesn't have a team, a person, you know, I have a lot of moms that come to me for coaching. I have a lot of single young men that come to me for coaching. And it's always about getting them to change how they think. Because there's the real estate investing is a very simple system. And so one of the things you have to master in real estate to pay your bills, or do you want to become wealthy? Wealthy is a different mindset. It's completely different mindset. Wealthy is you understanding that exactly, nothing changes until you change. Wealthy is when you start looking, not scarcity, but broke people always look to hold on to their little bit of money, and they squeeze their couple of dollars like, you know, real tight. But until you open your hand, nothing else is going to go in there. So you got to get out of that mindset. You need to create you have to understand the things that you will need to invest in your business. And so again, if you want to become very successful in real estate or any platform, any business that you do, that's why I became successful in 5 Links. I used the same information there. And your team, Wendy, you once, your system is only process I was to started winning. Way to go. So system, the platform works, but you got to work it. So even Fitzgerald, he went, Breland went, and he put into action information. You got to take the stuff you learned and you got to work on yourself. I can share some conversations I had with Breland, or if you see some of the first times that he approached me, mindset shift had to happen. And so that's with everybody, including myself. When I got into real estate, I had to change how I thought. And I had to watch the successful people and say, if they're doing that, and then ask them, what would it take for you to train me? I didn't say, you know, can you do it for me for free? That's an insult to somebody who has invested a lot to bring you the information. Robert Allen was the #1, the person who created this information. And when I found out that he wrote a book, I invested in the book. When I found out he was going to have a training program, I invested in it. Carlton Sheets was one of the founding fathers of No Money Down. When I realized he had a business in a box, is what he called his training system, I didn't say, could you give me a discount? I said, how can I get the information? And not all of it worked for me, but what did work was, again, the fishbowl. And then as I became successful, then more people wanted to connect to me, because everybody, when you become successful, they want you to be their testimony. You know, when I became more successful, I got access to the Robert Allens, the Carlton Sheets, and more people that are in real estate would reach out to me. And so the same will happen to you, but you got to get in there and you've got to do the work. So one of the things you really want to put it Over and over, I say, what is your why? Once you know why you got into real estate, then you want to do a business plan. If you say, I got into real estate so I can buy my mom a home, you have to know what that home is going to cost. And then you have to know what your bills are now. And then you put that together. And then let's say you come up with, you need to get 60,000 combined. Then you say, well, I need to do X amount of deals, because if I'm making 2,000 a wholesale deal or 5,000 a wholesale deal, then I would take 5,000. Once I divide it by 60, that will tell me how many deals a month I need to get to, or how many deals I need to close before I could buy my mom her home, if that is your goal. Nothing you don't account for will get done. That is something one of my longest mentors told me, which is, everybody knows Mike Ferry. He's one of the top, he's the #1 real estate coach in the world, has been for a long time, and now his son is also top in the world. And so that's the thing he taught me. You got to know what it is dollar-wise you need to accomplish. Once you understand that, then you have to create a budget. You're not going to make a lot more money if you don't understand what it takes to make money. Everybody wants free money, but that's like drug dealers. Drug dealers think they're using a shortcut, and it ends up costing them a lot more. So you don't want that. You will save more money when you have a game plan. You will save more money when you learn real estate and you learn to do the deals. One of the first things after you figure out what it is that you want, your business plan. If your business plan tells you that you need 5 deals to get to that 60,000, and you've never done a deal, don't think you're going to do 6 deals overnight. There's stuff you have to learn. So you need to put on your budget a dollar amount for coaching, for training, for books, for programs. Even if you get one program and you work that full program, when that program is over, then you invest in another. You don't want to invest in like 10 different programs. And not every program or coach has to be 100,000. You start where you can. If you only have $1,000, find a program that you can do for maybe, a couple of hundred. Find a program that you can do a payment plan, but do something. Don't use your whole $1,000 for coaching, but make sure coaching is on your business budget. Okay, so you've got a business plan. Now you're creating your business budget. You also want to have self-improvement on your budget. So you might invest in a book a month. You might invest in a program. You might invest in something that's going to help you self-improve or change your thinking. So right there, that's 2 different coaches that you need, unless the program you chose has that involved in it too. That's in your budget. Write it down. If you're, again, in the Yellow Letter Mentoring, when Breland was on it, we gave the book in pieces. But now what we do is we give you most of the book because we want you to get the work done. And then we give you, like I said, loose leaf in the back so that you can write notes. And so one of the notes you want to have in you want to put your budget in your binder so you always have it and you can look at it. I like to look at my budget when I'm exercising. If you do the treadmill, if you do a bike, that's one of the things, again, that Mike Ferry taught us. Get up in the morning, do your affirmations, before you get onto emails and your phone, pray if you pray. And I pray, so I pray first, then I do my exercises. While I'm on my exercises, I also do my affirmations, and I remind myself the things that I have to accomplish on my business plan, and then I think about my budget. As wealthy as she is, thank you so much, Breland. So as wealthy as she is, she has a budget. everybody that is successful, the richest man in the world varies. Sometimes it is between two different people, and they both have budgets. Nobody successful. Tyler Perry has a budget, and he just became a billionaire. You will not become successful without it. Poor people do not have a budget. Wealthy people always do. Poor people get, and the money goes right out. Wealthy people have a budget. They plan everything. So the other thing you want to have on your budget, you have to understand, again, the money-making activities. If you want to become a successful investor, you have to have money on your budget. You need a good list. You have to have a list with a zip code that you're going to work. So now you have to deduct that from, say, your $1,000 or the credit card you're using to invest. I'm the type of person, you tell me what I need when I got started, then I went and I made sure I earned that money and I got it done. But most people are starting off with, I can get $1,000, or I can, I have a credit card I can use, or I can, I have my job and I get paid, taxes are coming up. Think about how you're going to budget your refund, and I'm sure they're going to give more monies again when the new president goes into, Biden takes office. Think about budgeting the money that comes through your hand, or it's just going to go and you're not going to see where it's gone. So the other thing you want to do is make sure that you have a good list. If you're a real estate agent, you will call it a farm area. If you're an investor, you call it a list. You pick your zip code and you make sure you have at least 100 to 500 names that you're working. If you only do 50 postcards or 50 letters a week, then you don't need 1,000 names on your list. That's a waste of money. So budget a list. Then you need to put on your budget how you're going to market to that list. If you're doing letters, then you need to budget everything that it takes to get those letters in the mail. If you're doing postcards, you need to budget everything that it takes to get those postcards in the mail. If you're doing texting, if you're doing phone calls, if you're doing emails, there's a cost to all of that. So you want to budget that. Then you want to budget what is it going to take when people call you back? How are they going to call you? Where are they going to call you? Are they calling you on your cell phone? If they do, now your cell phone is something that you get a write-off for because it's your business phone. So you want to keep a budget of all the things you're using for your business. I invest in a lot of folders. Add that, whatever it is you're spending for your business, you want to add that to your budget. And women, even men, you get haircuts. That is really an extensive budget. But just to get started, you have to understand stuff is going to cost you when you first get started. And that cost is an investment. You're not going to lose the money. It's an investment. So I really encourage you to focus on that. You want to look at what it is that you are focusing on. Are you going to get a Facebook business page, or are you going to get a website? Most people, the first thing they tell me is, I got my LLC. Well, your LLC is going to do you no good if you've got no business being generated. Can I write off my hair? You have to speak to your accountant, Saul, and some accountants have a way of figuring things out because it's part of your business. Keep your receipts for everything, though. And what I do with my bookkeeper and accountant is, like you noticed the other day, I got billed something twice. I was concerned about that. If I didn't have a budget, I wouldn't know that I was billed something twice. Broke people don't pay attention to the pennies they lose, but wealthy people look at everything. We look at our light bill to make sure we didn't get overcharged. We look at our water bill. We look at, we look at ways to see, is our cable even correct? You've got to start looking at money differently. Money is meant to work for you and not you work for it. So the thinking has to shift for that. So I usually put all my receipts, I get a binder, and I just tape my receipts to the binder, and I hand them over to my bookkeeper or my accountant. I've had the same accountant for years. So you want to find out from your accountant what kind of stuff you need to put together. You also want to look at what is it going to cost you to do a deal, because that's when you start making money, when you get a deal done. But before you can get a deal done, you've got to become a master at finding a good deal. A lot of people just get any deal and then they wonder why it didn't sell or why is it taking so long. Every deal I put up goes that quickly because it's a good deal. But if you have a bad deal, it takes you longer to push it, to beg people to buy it, to kind of, you know, babysit it to the closing table. It's when you find good deals, people fight you for your deal. And a good deal will give you a good profit. A good deal, you may think I'm going to make $5,000 and end up making $10,000, $15,000 because it's such a good deal. So master the art of finding a good deal. Don't just get into real estate and feel like I'm in it, so I'll take whatever comes. You're wasting your time and your energy. So master money-making activity. If you are money-generating activities, what I like to say. Are you going to give out business cards? You've got to invest in those. You've got to invest in, you know, marketing materials that you're going to give out. One of the things I like to do, and I learned this from Ray Higdon years ago. He used to be one of my mentors. And, he used to be one of my mentors. And one of the things Ray taught us was get some, you know, you can go to the dollar store and you can get a pack of baggies that seal at the top, and you put your business card in there. We buy houses cash, or, you know, you have a real estate issue, call me, your phone number, your name. You put a tiny little rock. You put a tiny little rock. You can buy that at the dollar store, and you go in your car and you just throw it in people's driveways. And there's nothing illegal about that. Now, in some subdivisions, they may tell you don't mark it in this subdivision, then you can't. But some subdivisions say you can't leave stuff in the person's mailbox, but you can. They don't say you cannot throw it in the driveway. All you need is one person to call you from that. So let's say you bought a bag, you know, 2 baggy boxes, and they cost you $2. And you bought maybe 2 bags of rocks, and that cost you another $2. And maybe you spent an hour driving around a subdivision. You can't do it just one time. Everything I teach you guys has to become a lifestyle. Real estate has become a lifestyle for me. I've taught my kids to make it a lifestyle. If you're an agent in my office, if you're an investor on my team, I show you how to make it a lifestyle. When you do that, the deals come at you all day, every day. All day, every day, people will be bringing you deals. But you first got to go and sow seed. You've got to go put things out there that is going to get people to call you. So I learned that from Ray Higdon, and I spent a lot of money with him. I liked him and his wife's style. So every mentor I've ever had, I've learned something or a few things from them, and I just keep building my business that way. So again, before you go and invest in your LLC, get your Facebook, your business Facebook page done, or get your website done. If you need any help with any of those, let me know. I can refer people to you. But don't go invest all the money you have for your LLC and you don't have a deal yet. I normally tell people, get your LLC once you have a deal in contract. Most people, I have a contract that I just signed today, and the seller said to me, I prefer you, not everybody wants you to close in your LLC. So that's not the major thing. I know some trainers say, do we have to create a website? You don't have to. Nothing I say to you, you have to do. But I promise you, as somebody that's what I studied in college, that's what I've invested a lot of money to learn, is marketing. Right now, most people are not, or else to social media platforms. You can use social media platforms, but where are you driving them to? If people see your social media platform, Saul, and you don't have a business Facebook page, because you can make your business Facebook page look like a website, and you can also create a website. If you go to GoDaddy, um, if you go to GoDaddy, you can get you can buy that domain name for like $12. So now you own that domain name, and other people will watch it. Like I remember when I first started promoting Wendy Lovejoy, which is my name. When I first promoted it, my name wasn't that valuable. But as I created a brand, I'll talk to people in other states and say, I know your name, I've heard of you. So now that makes your name more valuable. Now, if I want to buy my own name, it will cost me. So it's so much better to, and that's why now I do Wendy Williams Lovejoy. So you want to create a business Facebook page, like the RIA is a business Facebook page. It's a group. We have Wendy Lovejoy Coaching, Wendy Lovejoy Yellow Letter Mentoring Program. Those are business pages, and we drive people there, but people also want to do a website. The way the world is going now because of COVID, your website is your office. It is your business location, and it makes you a global business and not just a a mom and pop shop. So the quicker you get your business page, the quicker you get at least one page of your Facebook. I had a young lady call me one day and she said, I really want you to coach me. And I asked, how did you hear about me? This happens quite a bit. And I say, how did you hear about me? And they said, well, I just looked up, coaching or real estate investing, coaching or mentorship, and your name popped up. So that will happen to you guys too once you start putting together your Facebook page, your business Facebook page. And if you want to know what things you can put on there, I'll be happy to share that with you. I'll post some of that even in the group if that's helpful to you guys. But once your name is out there, the longer you have it, this is another reason that I blog. I have a blog, but I have a virtual assistant that handles my blog. I write the information, they rewrite it, and they add the kind of pictures and the video I asked for. Having a blog and having it put out there is also going to be a way that your name gets known. You want people to call you when they have a deal, and not you having to find them. So all this takes time, but basically you want to at least create your business Facebook page. And so when you go to the other social media groups and you're investing time posting on social media groups, make sure you belong to at least 3 that are realistic. Okay, if you're a positive person and you leave positive comments, people are gonna come and find you. On a daily basis now, people are trying to become my friend, trying to join my groups. And a few years ago when I started in real estate, on social media, I invested a lot of time creating my brand on social media, which is what you want to do. You also want to figure out, like I said, get a deal in contract. Once you get a deal in contract, you will know what it costs you to get that deal. And now you put that, you then increase your budget, and now you can do 2 to 5 deals. When I share with you guys, wow, I did 10 contracts or 5 or 3, it's because I've put things in place to get that going, and you build up to that. The information I'm sharing is so you build up to that. You also want to do this. I promise you that the pandemic is only going to put out there more deals. I don't know what state you're in, but most people, the stats say that people are leaving most states and they're going to Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. These are the places you should be investing in, because there's going to be a lot of rentals in those areas. There's going to be a lot of people buying in those areas. And so if you have people